Yesterday, my friends, we learned about the Native Americans and how they lived long ago and how we live today. Let's look at some photos and some pictures of our story from yesterday and see if we can remember some things. My friends, do you remember what is our country called? Where do we live? We live in the United States of America. My friends, this is a picture of a city in the United States of America. That's our country that we live in today. This is a busy, busy city. What kinds of things do you think you would find in a busy city like this? We might find lots of people in a crowd. We might see many cars or trucks or trains or buses and buildings. We see lots of lights. And then we learned that a long time ago, our country looked very different than it looks today. Were there cities in our country a long time ago? There were no cities. Were there people living here a long time ago? There were people living here a long time ago. Do we see a crowd of people? Do we see trucks or cars or tall buildings? No. But there were people that lived here a long time ago and they lived different than we did. Do you remember what were those people called who lived here long ago? Good. They were called Native Americans. Can you say Native American? Good. And we also learned that these people had a tribe called the Wampanoag. Native Americans' lives were very different from our life today. Their houses looked different from our houses. They did not have phones or TV. They did not play on the computer. They did not shop at grocery stores. Do you remember what did the Native Americans do every day? Let's look at the picture to help. We remembered that they make their own food in the garden. They made corn and they made pumpkins. What else did they do to get their food, friends? They hunted animals and they caught fish. And we can see back here, they had to cook it very differently with some fire than we have to do today. Native Americans a long time ago, they lived very different from how we live today. We can go to the grocery store and we don't have to go and hunt for the fish. In this picture, we can see some more things that Native Americans did a long time ago. Can you tell me what did the Native Americans do in this picture? The Native American man and son are using the fire to cook their fish. And we do that at home, but we have a stove in the kitchen. It's the fire is not on the ground. And who remembers what else did the Native Americans do? The Native Americans made baskets out of things they found outside and clothes from skins and fur of the animals. And their house was also made from sticks and leaves and other things we can find outside. The Native Americans lived very different than we live today, friends. Boys and girls, remember when we read this part of the story? There's a word I want you to say with me today. We heard the word before. Listen for the word before while I read part of the read aloud to you again. The word is before. Long, long ago, long before your mother and father were born, and even long before your grandparents were born, the United States looked very different. The word before means something happened soon or earlier than something else. Native Americans lived here before anyone in your family. The word before means that something happened soon or earlier than something else. Native Americans lived here before anyone in your family. My friends, say that word with me. Before. One more time, say before. Now let's think of some things you do before you do other things. You put on your socks before you put on your shoes. You put toothpaste on your toothbrush before you brush your teeth. You cook your food before you eat it. What do you do before you go to school or get ready for school? Tell us and show us what you do before you get ready for school. Before is the opposite of after. It means something different. After means later. You put on your shoes after you put on your socks. You brush your teeth after you put toothpaste on your toothbrush. You eat your food after you cook it. What do you do after school? Tell us what you do after school. Show your friends.